What's happening, everybody? Holy long time away. I'm so happy to be back. I decided, you know, I need to start dropping these videos again. I get a little bit of an itch to talk about sports cards when I'm in between shows and just different lulls in the industry that I kind of missing out on the national right now. So, you know, I just wanted to jump on, do a quick video, do maybe just a quick recap of some grades I got back from, you know, Crack and then Regrade opportunities that I saw, and kind of, you know, just kind of showcase what my thought process was on why I specifically went for these grades. So I'm going to go through that. There's a nice mix of different grades and grading companies. But before all that, like always, jump on and hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. Picked up a few new subscribers while I had this 3-month lull, so I appreciate you guys jumping on, and don't worry, more content will be coming. Of course, like the video and leave a comment and let me know how you think I did on some of these grades, and of course, if I, you know, didn't, then, you know, you can call me out on that too. So all right, without further ado, let's start here with the first card. So this is the Jordan Alvarez. This was a Bowman Chrome rookie auto. So really nice card. I looked at these subgrades and I kind of thought to myself, you know what? Look, you got all pretty solid grades. 9, you know, 9.5 edges, 9 on the corners. The surface got an 8 though. So one thing with you guys need to remember about BGS is centering is always not always the, you know, front of the card that's being docked on. So always check the front and then look at it with your own eyes and make a judgment if it looks centered or not, because then on the back a lot of the times they get they ding people because back centering is off. So as you may know, you know, PSA doesn't grade the back of cards nearly as hard as Beckett does, so there's an opportunity there to sort of, you know, skate around a low grade because you're going to a different grading company. Surface though, however, I know PSA is super hard on surfaces, so I decided to take this one and bring it to SGC, which I feel like they have a better tolerance for surface issues. So that was my strategy, and here is the card. There we go, something like that. And let me see if I can get that glare. So this is the SGC 9 grade with a 10 auto, which I knew the auto was beautiful, so I felt the 10 on the SGC slab is always very prominent, so I thought that'd be a good way to sort of make the card look more attractive with a nice prominent auto grade. And then of course the 9 bumping up from the 8.5 I think is a slight, maybe a slight value increase, but I mean it's not going to be an astronomical jump. But I do think this grade looks a lot better than this grade, and I do think a collector or a, you know, investor would prefer to have anything with a 9 versus an 8. So that's it. So, you know, maybe a very small nominal upgrade in value, probably at least enough to cover my grading fees, maybe a little bit more, but I just think this will move a lot easier in a 9-10 versus BGS 8.5. So that was my reasoning there. All right, next one, we'll pick this up a little bit. So this was this Vlad Topps Triple Threads rookie, so 2019, Vlad's rookie year, and this was the gold auto. So this is numbered card. It's a thicker card too, and it's numbered out of 25. So nice low numbered Vlad auto, gold, obviously. SGC 1010. So I think this is a pretty safe bet. Of course, you know, with SGC, like I said in the last card, once in a while you can get tricked into getting a 10 that actually has some like surface issues. So a little bit of a dice roll, but it's a thick card, so you never know. It's probably pretty decent. And we got a PSA 10. So we took that one to PSA because when I did look at it, it looked really nice and clean. So beautiful card there. It's Vlad, gold auto, and a 10. All right, we only got about 5 or 6 cards total here, guys, so it won't be too long. This was a pretty no-brainer, so I just want to kind of show quad 9.5s on a Luka. This is from Prism, but it's the Mosaic subset within Prism of 2018. So rookie Luka, quad 9.5s, and we got a PSA 10. So pretty no-brainer. It was a little off-center left to right, which I was a little bit concerned of, but it's not terrible. And this design, it's really hard to notice anyways if it's off-center because it's, you know, kind of a wacky print, so it's not the easiest to see, you know, eye appeal wise. It still looks good. So anyways, nice to get the 10 on that. All right, this was probably my biggest come up from them, which probably spilling the beans, but this was the 2002-3 finest LeBron. So this is kind of like oops, I'm sorry, this is the wrong one. This is the other one. Actually, I got the Pristine, which was actually a BGS 9 also. And my fault, I grabbed the wrong one, but we'll go ahead and show this so I don't have to dig around. Anyways, there you go. So I crossed the BGS 9 into a PSA 10, and this was the Topps Pristine, not the Finest. The Finest I actually sold already, but that one actually got a PSA 9. So from BGS 9 to a PSA 9, I think it's still worth the risk because there's still probably a 10, 15, maybe even 20% increase in value, depending on how big the card is, of course, that you can see from a BGS 9 to a PSA 9. But a BGS 9 to a PSA 10 is pretty big. So I think the original cost for the BGS 9 of this was about $300, and then in the PSA 10 it goes for about $700. So really nice bump in value there. But again, you don't win them all, but sometimes you do. As one old wise man once said. All right, next I've been doing some Zion hunting. So this is a Prism green, so that's just the retail green. Quad 9.5s again, so pretty safe bet. Bam, got the PSA 10. So nice, probably 30%, 35% value increase from a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 10. So definitely a nice, again, looking at the card, you can see it's well centered. It's, you don't have too much risk. Prism is pretty sturdy. So I felt pretty confident crossing that over. All right, another Zion crossover. So again, another BGS 9.5, quad 9.5s. This is the Optic Hollow Rookie. Boink, got that in a 10 too. So again, not a hard one to do. Again, you're not always guaranteed on the BGS 9.5s, which we'll see here in a second. But I think if you have quad 9.5s and it's a pretty pretty well graded card, it has a high gem rate, you got a pretty good chance of gemming it. Okay, so here's one though that's gonna buck the trend. So this is the Select White Zion. 3 9.5s and a 10. So now we're talking about a Gem Mint Plus. So this one you should feel really confident, right? Well, womp womp, got a 9. So fair warning, it doesn't always work out, guys. There's going to be times where you're going to get the bump like I did on LeBron from a BGS 9 to a PSA 10, which is an amazing jump. And there's times when you're going to go down a level. Now, from a BGS 9.5 to a PSA 9, it's, still significant. I'd probably say about 20-25% discount between the two. But, if I really wanted to, maybe I could send it back to BGS and get a 9.5 again. But honestly, this card looks really good. I'm really surprised it got a 9, but maybe it might even be just a crack and resub to PSA and see what happens. Maybe get a second opinion on that one. All right, so here's a kind of another risky play. So this is a BGS 8.5. This is from Prism 2019, which is Zion, of course, and this is Zion's Cracked Ice Purple, which is a beautiful card, and it's numbered out of 149. This used to be like a multi thousands of dollar card. It's definitely fallen from grace a little bit. So this one, again, if you look, I see the surface is kind of where the problem lies, because you got 2 9.5s and a 10 on the other 3 grades. So surface is trash. So it's probably a dimple or something like that. That's pretty significant to get a 7.5. So again, with BGS, you can only get 1 grade higher than the lowest grade, which is, only drug up if your other 3 grades are really strong. So this one got drug up to an 8.5, but in some cases it could have been an 8 if one of the other grades was lower. But regardless, I decided to go with SGC again because of the surface, and I know that they have a slight, more tolerance for surface than PSA does. So ended up getting an SGC 9. So that's not bad, and again, there's not I wouldn't say there's a massive price increase from a SGC 9 to a BGS 8.5, but I do think that it's more of a just psychological thing of seeing a 9 versus an 8, for a collector, and BGS and SGC are getting pretty close in terms of value. So again, I don't think there's like a massive price hike, but I just think it's gonna be easier to sell in a 9 versus an 8.5. So that was my reasoning. All right, and the last one's just kind of a fun, cheap one, but I decided to do it because I thought it was a cool card, and I wanted to crack this CSG slab. So CSG, they used to have the green labels where they'd have the subgrades, which I actually liked because they're pretty strict. And, when you got a CSG 9.5 in the green label, probably would cross to a PSA 10, depending on, of course, specifics. But I think it had a really high chance because the grading was pretty tight on CSG subgrades and on the old green labels. But the new CSG, I've noticed that the 9.5s aren't obviously as quality cards as the previous 9.5s because they also have a 10 now. So that's the difference maker, is you really want to go for 10s if you want to feel confident in a cross or a crack and regrade. But once in a while you can get away with a 9.5, but this one was a Stephen Kwan. This is the Topps Chrome Cosmic, but it's the Blue Moon refractor, so I thought it was super cool. Pretty fair price, and from a CSG 10 to a PSA 10, pretty significant price jump. I'd probably say 50%. So again, not a huge card, but I thought it was worth the $19 grading fee just because of the price jump. Because I did pay for this pretty. I mean, even though it's a 10, you're still a little bit above raw, like maybe 20% above raw because it's CSG. So again, collectors still quite aren't paying premiums for CSG quite yet, but they grade pretty well, and especially the 10s, you can feel pretty confident that you can cross them over. So. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I just wanted to show you guys a few results. I've been picking up some other stuff too. Maybe I'll do another video talking about some of my pickups I've been focusing on for the different sports. But for now, we'll leave it there. Thank you again for joining me. And if you enjoyed the video, like it, subscribe if you haven't. And of course, drop a comment. Let me know how I did. And let me know too some of the cracks and regrading maybe you guys been doing, because I'm interested to see and hear about your guys' successes and your failures. Don't forget, make sure you add those too, because that's part of the learning process. So anyways, thanks guys. See you next time. Peace.